I didn't go talk to a wall. A wall doesn't care. I said, what do you mean? He said, you don't want to get involved. And I learned a very long time ago that wasn't possible for me. So what I had to learn to do was to learn about the differences between being involved and drowning with my client, or sometimes getting more involved than they were. And on occasion, that has happened too. And we'll talk about that. That's when we begin to move past one thing and into another. Absolutely great insight. Great insight. You had a thought. Yeah, it looks like you did. Okay. Holler at me when you do.
Okay.
Third list, a little bit harder. What do you expect of the people who receive your care? What do you expect of them? This one is hard because we're out doing the care. We don't have time to think about this, but that's why this morning is so valuable. What did you put down? One thing.
Honesty.
Honesty. With whom or with what?
If you're caring for a patient and you ask them how they're feeling, they have to be honest with you. In order for you to help them, they have to communicate.
Absolutely. It's certainly easier because I assume, I suppose we never should because you know what that makes out of you and me, that you are being honest with me. And so I am now creating a support system or a help or an intervention or whatever it is for what you have said. And if that turns out to be completely wrong, we're now in the wrong direction. We're going down the wrong path, barking up the wrong tree, whatever cliche we want to use. Absolutely. Is it easy or hard, do you think, for people to be honest?
I think it's hard for them to be honest about their health.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They don't want to talk about it, or even if we're talking about something as cold and calculated as your financial health or your resources. Doesn't even have to do with your personal, what do you have as friends and support systems? Oh man, I've got friends everywhere. Yeah, and where are they today? Oh, well, they were all busy today. It is so hard, but unless we are honest, also two-way street. It is hard because now we are working at the wrong agenda, or one that doesn't take us to the right path. Thank you for sharing that. What's another expectation that you have? Respect. Respect of what or whom?
Well, respect of, like, if I'm a hospice volunteer. So if I go in as a volunteer, there are a lot of things I can't do. I can sit there and play cards, I can sit there and read, we can sit there and pray if that's what they want. A lot of people who are in hospice don't understand the different roles that people play, and they think a volunteer is going to come in and do different things, and you say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Like, let's say they want you to wash the floor, I'm just exaggerating. You say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. It's not, you need to get another agency to come in and do that. And I've had some clients, then go home.
Yeah.
I don't need you here. That's not what they told me a volunteer was for. They misinterpreted, what was said. And, I find that it can be disrespectful to me to expect me to do something that I'm not allowed to do.
Absolutely.
Especially some of them want medication. I can't do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So to respect you, to respect what you are able to do, exactly. and maybe most importantly, to respect what you are not able to do. Right. And you certainly are capable of washing the floor, but no, that is not part of, and we don't say that's not my job description. It's just, that's not what I'm here to be able to do. If you need that done, I will refer that back to the hospice social worker, and we'll see if we can find another agency to do that. Absolutely. Respect is something that we all want, and it makes it much easier when we feel that people are respecting what we are doing.
Right.
Absolutely.
And in turn, you have to respect them, knowing the position that they're in.
Absolutely.
If the person who's on the deathbed, that they could be very angry, they could be hurting.
Absolutely.
They're looking for, probably not necessarily attention, but conversation or
connection.
Connection.
Absolutely.
And so it goes both ways.
It does. Almost all of this goes both ways. And that's where it gets quite confusing. Exactly. Because we're not quite sure whose needs we're serving.
Right.
Ours or theirs. Yes, ma'am. Way in the back.
Not to take advantage of my good nature.
I like that one.
I do. And I think because I saw everybody smile, we're all going, uh-huh. Absolutely. Absolutely. Not to overstep. Not to ask you to be there 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, or to understand that we might have gotten caught in a snowstorm or a traffic jam, or that if I am not able to come one day, but I've sent someone else to be warm and gracious to them, instead of saying, well, you're not Mary. I said, no, I'm not, but Mary wasn't able to come. Well, she said she would be here. When I first started working in hospice, I learned very quickly after our very first client, I went out with the head nurse to do the intake, and I made a mistake of saying, and I will always be available to you. I quickly changed that, and someone will always be available to you, because they got very angry when I didn't come at 3 a.m. or at